Psalm 121 is a song of ascent. It is a journey song. And as we talked about Sunday morning in worship, these were sung by memory for people on their pilgrimage to Jerusalem to celebrate one of the festivals. This was an appointed time. They would come, they would do this. The songs that they would sing from memory would tell them about the history of them as a people in relationship to God. They would remember the times when God had delivered them. They would be singing the songs that were necessary for the festivals they were going to. So when you look at Psalm 121, I want you to think about it today as a blessing for a person about to begin or leave on a journey. Now we all know we're all on a journey, but I think there are shorter journeys. There are little specific periods of time where we need to pay attention to how God is speaking to us in that particular moment, in that particular time, and for the journey we are on right now. So I'm going to read verses 1 and 2. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Those are verses 1 and 2. And they're known as the traveler's question and confession. So now when you go to the mountains and you look up to the hills, and they are beautiful and majestic and they're awe-inspiring and they're breathtaking, and yet at the same time it's a little bit terrifying. If you're headed up there in a car, how steep will the roads be? How close will we be to the edge? It's a little scary. There are dangers. There are things that are unknown, and your fear can take over. This is a natural question in life. We have fears. There are dangers all around on our journey. We do not know what will happen next. So when we naturally fear and wonder about the unknown and just take a moment where our fears might take over and where our anxiety will be heightened and where we don't know the answer, that is when we ask this question, from where will our help come? It's in a moment of doubt, in a moment of what's going to happen next, because we're looking up to the mountains, but the mountain is not our security. We look up to the mountains and it is beautiful, but it is scary. So I want you to take a minute. What do you fear right now? What do you doubt? What do you worry? Think about that. Hold that. We're going to use that today in a prayer. So we've asked the question. We've looked up, we've seen God's beautiful work, but yet we have felt the fear of the unknown, and we have felt anxiety and worry, and we do not know what dangers are around the corner. When our life is just rocked by the circumstances, whether we cause them or not, when our life is rocked to the point where we are on shaky ground, it can feel like the wind has been knocked out of us. And if I'm honest with you, that's how I've felt for the last 3 weeks. Like the wind has been knocked out of me. And I am going through the motions. I'm still going. But there's a lot of worry. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety. And I am asking this question, where does my help come from? This tells us that at any time, and no matter the strongest person of faith or the newest person of faith, we can feel like our faith has been shaken by the circumstances of our life, by what happens on the journey, by what either happens to us or we cause. There are times in life and times on the journey where our faith is shaken. So when we feel like we have encountered one of those times, we turn to verse 2 where the traveler answers the question. And this is our mantra. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. The traveler here who's on this journey, whether they believe this surely at the moment or not, they're telling it to themselves again, like they would sing these songs on the pilgrimage, on the journey. To remember, to say it again, to maybe feel more sure, to get assurance. So today, after this Bible study, when you share out loud or write in a journal or offer in prayer what your fear is right now, what you're most worried about, what you're most concerned about, whatever that question is for you right now, share your fear in prayer and then repeat verse 2. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. That's our prayer that we can learn from today's psalm. But I want us to think about the rest of the verses as well in Psalm 121. Verses 3 through 8 can be seen as a blessing. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. I think I hear a little benediction there in the end. But if we look at this as a blessing to offer one on a journey. God is our keeper while we are on the journey. He is our protector, our shield, watches over us, our guard. The Lord keeps our life. And God promises to keep you. I think when we are left shaken in our faith, we need to be reassured that God is out there to keep me. The Lord is there to keep you. God will guard you as you go on your journey and as you go out and as you come back home. And whatever dangers you face on the journey by day or by night, you have been promised that God will keep you. And God will keep you going. So these are the promises that the Lord makes for those who rely on God. So Jewish families will often use Psalm 121 to be posted in the delivery room when a baby's about to be born, to be put on the baby carriage, to be placed over the crib, to be put in a child's room, so that they remember and grow up wanting to rely on God, knowing that God will keep promises to be our keeper. I think this is a beautiful image for us. It is a blessing to call us to know and to draw near to God so that we can look for God's promises and to know and to be reassured at all times that God will keep us on our journey. So today I ask you to lay out your fears, whatever might shake you in your faith, to lay it out in prayer and to remember verse 2. My help comes from the Lord who created heaven and earth. And that God will keep you in your going and your coming from this time on and forevermore. Amen.